Hey there, everybody. It is time once again, or time for the first time, in fact, for a TSCN Wrestling update. The way we're going to do these is these are going to be essentially audio format. If anyone wants to do a fun video thing, then that may be a thing. But otherwise, it's going to be essentially a podcast on YouTube, which I know means for those of you that are very specific about this, like I am, then it's not a podcast because there is no RSS feed. But if you're not one of those nerds, it's a podcast on YouTube. Essentially, this is an update. That way we can focus more on the matches on the actual stream itself. It's a way, again, this is another one of the tricks that I have learned from John Jagger over at Frog Pants Wrestling, is that honestly, you can't cram all of that into one stream. So it's a bit easier to just flat out go, okay, we'll do this actually in a separate video so you guys will know what's up, and then we will be able to deal with the really fun stuff during the thing. Congratulations go out first to Donovan and Sue. Both of them have taken the titles of the men's championship and the women's championship respectfully after our showcase of all of the current characters of TSCN Wrestling, after all of the current wrestlers have made their way out. We now know that Donovan and Sue are now our champions. And how is that going to make anything go anyways? Oh, there's already some ripples going through the place, and we'll talk about that in a bit. First, for those of you that do wrestling, I'm going to say a phrase that you will understand. I'm going to Triple H this a little bit first and give you the behind the scenes. Then we will go into character and actually talk about some things. So, first up, thank you guys for the support that you gave for this first episode of TSCN Wrestling. I had an absolute blast. I'm glad you guys have done that. I've already got a bunch of people in the background that are like, heck yeah, we want to be part of this. It's a matter of them filling out forms, plus me finding good times to, reveal them and stuff like that. I might even have a plan to do a little special for a specific occasion that happens once a year, but that's all I'm going to pull on that one right now, just in case it doesn't happen. I don't want to promise anything that I can't deliver, because that's something a lot of content creators could very much learn. But that being said, new characters are being built in the background. I've got all sorts of plans for this, and it's just going to go up from here. So, again, thank you guys for the support, and let's get into this. Several announcements that have been made, or at least one announcement has been made before we get into the matches themselves. Our champion on the men's division is going through a change. He wants himself to just be called Donovan now. No Donovan Atkinson, no shady Donovan Atkinson. He just wants to be called Donovan. And when asked in the press conference why he wanted to just be called Donovan, he told us with a little cock of his eyebrow, "I'm so good, you will know me by one name. You only need Donovan. And then that is the only thing. You will immediately know what Donovan that is being talked about. So call me Donovan." So he did, in fact, do that. So that will reflect. He's not scheduled for these current upcoming matches, but in the future, just know that your men's champion is now known as just Donovan, like Madonna Donovan. But that out of the way as we kind of sigh. So, might as well tell you guys the matches that are going to be going on next time. So match one is a bit of a grudge match, although it's a proxy grudge match. Samantha has become rather outspoken with her annoyance at Sue winning the championship. But instead of going after Sue, she is going to try to hit Sue where it hurts. And instead, she has gotten Kevin to declare a match with Danny. Now, we did catch up with Danny. We asked him for a statement, and here's what he had to say to us. Here we are. I By the way, behind the scenes, that is actually Dad sighing. We had a lot of fun with that. Uh, I don't know what we were expecting, but yeah, that's typical for rude Danny Lewis, as we call him in his nickname in the ring, to just be exasperated with us and walk off, and that's exactly what happened. So that apparently is his only opinion. We were able to catch up with Sue, and she essentially told us that she felt like this was a unmerited attack, that Samantha is having sour grapes simply because she lost against a gnome, which, to be fair, part of these statements that Samantha has put out recently is her literally saying that she hated that she got taken down by a, quote, pink-haired powder puff, I believe is the phrase that she has used, and that is that sounds about right for her temperament, for that to be a thing. So, with that in mind, Samantha wants to try to hit Sue where it hurts by taking her husband out, essentially. And Danny's accepted the match because he would not back down on it, even if this stuff utterly annoys him and he thinks he could be doing better somewhere else. He has still accepted the match. So the first match we will have that night is Danny versus Kevin. And then more annoyance already. I am already having to deal with so much annoyance from my wrestlers. It's like that's built into wrestling or something. Who knew? But match number 2 will be a tag team match. Now, I have learned lessons over at Frog Wrestling. It's not going to be a normal tag match. Instead, this will be a tag elimination match in which eliminations are possible and knockouts are possible. So this means that a person can be eliminated by being knocked out, because to give you some behind the scenes of 2K3 and how it works, it broke tag team matches. In actual wrestling, as far as I know, one of the rules is that the partner of a tag team can only break their partner out of a pin once. And then after that, it's on that partner to not get pinned and get out of this. In the game, they let you just do it as many times as you want. And when you put AI into the equation, no, that's a big that freaking sucks. So with that, that's why you've got tag team with some modifications. In this case, Joelbert is kind of annoyed again at Jancelli. She seems to be ticking everybody off this time. But in this case, Joelbert is the standard thing, of course, a member of the Horde from Azeroth being taken down by a member of the Alliance. This will not fly for her, as being a warrior taken down by a mage. That is humiliating for her, so she wants her revenge. And coming up to help her is Savis, the undead hunter. They are both in the Horde, so they, of course, are going to pair up with each other. Although, Jancelli does not have someone from the Alliance that has come through the portal yet. Who could possibly join her to help out? We hope that she gets someone by the end. I've got the contracts still sitting in my office and just waiting for someone to sign them. So we'll do that. The third match is a bit of a, well, it's a test of something. I had someone walk into my office the other day, and, well, because we're mic'd up everywhere here at TSCN Wrestling headquarters, it was captured. So here's the footage of that.
Sam, buddy, pal, it's been so long since I've seen you. How have you been?
Bill Minks from Everly Heights and Fakest. What are you doing in my office all of a sudden?
Well, Sam, to be quite honest with you, I've been sucked into the world of Photoshop creating animation assets for Everly Heights, but I just happen to have a great idea. I know you're doing a lot of like stuff with fighting and like fighting games and stuff, like wrestling.
Yeah,
stuff.
we've got this whole arena here and everything. I mean, my office is here. I'm surprised you didn't see it. But anyway, what have you got in mind?
Well, I've been really diving into the AI stuff, despite the controversy. And I thought, what if we could make an AI me and put me in a video game. And I thought, hey, my buddy Sam is doing all this stuff with these wrestling video game thingamajigs. Why don't I ask him?
I mean, yeah, what'd you have in mind?
All right, well, Sam, I stayed up all night asking ChatGPT about it, and I came up with a great name for my wrestler. How about Fighting Machine Learning, or for short, shirt, and he can wear it on his shirt. You can just put FML.
Fighting machine learning. Huh.
Fighting Machine Learning. It couldn't stand for anything besides that.
No, I can't think of anything either. Um, yeah, so in other words, you want to use machine learning against my fighters out in my ring and see if it can beat them?
Absolutely, Sam. Absolutely. Because I mean, AI is the wave of the future, and really, it's really just about putting attention on me and everything I'm doing with machine learning. And I know how popular your wrestling stuff is, so I was like, if I'm gonna go to anyone with this idea, it has to be to Sam.
Okay, two conditions then. If I let
Okay,
if I let you into my arena, one, you're the person that's using the AI equipment to put your money where your mouth is. And two, I'm going to be the first person that you fight with it. Deal?
well, Sam, if I'm the one using the AI learning, that means it's going to be really, really good and stuff, and then I'm going to be fighting you, and you're my friend. I don't know if I can do that. You know what though? Promotion. Okay, let's do it. I love it.
Okay, it's a deal. Next match, we fight. Yes, I didn't want any of my fighters to deal with an experimental technology or anything like that, so it's going to be me versus Bill Meeks in his premiere match here at TSCN Wrestling as he joins me in the ring to see if his fighting machine learning technology, his FML tech, actually gets him anywhere with this. Should be an interesting match. And then our final match, our main event, as it will, is amazing. The Warlord stormed into my office, Jacob Carpenter, and he he demanded to know why Donovan won the match, won the belt. And he said that Donovan had it easy. If Jacob had been there and he had had to deal with these particular people, he would have been able to wipe the floor with them. But instead, Donovan dealt with these people. And as a result, he totally got away with it easily. So I said, okay, so you're saying if you were in a fight with these other people, you would have been champion. And he said, yes, that's exactly what I am proclaiming. So I went, okay. So now I have set up a three-way match between Jacob, Michael, and Shay. Michael and Shay, of course, being the two people that Donovan took out to get his championship belt. So Jacob, Michael, and Shay will be in a three-way. And as he wanted to really prove himself, I am making this an Extreme Rules match. That means that you can do anything, folks. You can use weapons. I think you can even pin anywhere if I'm remembering the rules that I have set up properly. This is an extreme three-person match to make sure that, well, if the Warlord wants to conquer, I'm going to let the Warlord try to conquer. Makes the Warlord happy that way. But yes, those are the matches that we'll be looking for the next episode of TSCN Wrestling. Will be streamed on the 24th of November, 2023 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So we will see you then. And again, thank you for all the support. I love you guys, and we've got so much planned for it in the future. So until then, see you guys.
This has been a production of the Samcast Network, TSCN.TV. What's your passion?